What would you do if you won the lottery? Hello everybody, Trailer Trash Tim. How you doing? How's your mom and them? Hope everybody is well. I'm not going to talk about the weather. I'm not going to talk about the weather. I'm not going to talk about the weather. Man, it is hot. I'm telling you, we're again flirting with triple digits. And I'm going to go down here to my little retreat in the woods so that it might be a little cooler, and it is nice and shady. Let's see if I can keep from running into a spider web. Real quick, if you would go ahead and let me have a drink of water. If you would go ahead and down below give me a thumbs up on the video, I would really greatly appreciate that. If you would subscribe to the channel, that would be fantastic. If you've not done so already, share this video with your friends and your family and on your social media. I would really appreciate that. We're growing. I mean, we're up to well over 2,000 now. So let's keep it going. Let's keep it trucking. Let's see if I can get in a little bit closer here. I don't know where Kiki is. She's out here somewhere. But thank you so much. Yet again, I just have to acknowledge all your wonderful comments. You 2,050 something souls. I love all of you. I'm so grateful for each and every one of you. Emails and buy me a coffee and all that jazz. All the relevant links are down below. So thank you so much for being here. Now, what would you do if you won the lottery? Well, that's something to think about, right? Now, let's just get real. Let's get serious. You're not going to win the lottery. I mean, the chances of you winning the lottery are like very, very, very slim. It's one in what? Hundreds of millions or something like that. I don't know what it is exactly. But you know what? Somebody's going to win it, and that's why people play. Now, here in Alabama, we're one of the few states that doesn't have the lottery, so it's not really an issue over here. But I'm guessing if you're not here or in one of the few states, I don't know who else doesn't have it, but most states do have like a Powerball or Mega Millions or something like that, or scratch-off tickets. But I just want to know, what would you do if you actually won that thing? What if you won $100 million, $50 million on it? What would you do? I want to talk about that today because it's going to tie in with something else that's kind of on my mind, on my heart. Now, here is Trailer Trash Tim's advice for a lottery winner, okay? You might want to write this down because it's really important. If you should win the lottery, the first thing that you should do after you get taken to the cleaners by Uncle Sam and after they ravage you, if you got to find out what's left, right? The first thing you do if you win the lottery is keep your mouth shut. Don't tell anybody. DTA. Don't say a word to anybody. I can't believe some of these people I've seen in the past who've won these, here comes Kiki, who've won these lotteries, and they give them these big cardboard cutout checks, and they just go on the television and, hey, look, I won the lottery. Oh, my Lord, that is the biggest mistake. It's got to be a mistake, because now every cousin you never knew you had is going to come out of the woodwork. Every Tom, Dick, and Harry, everybody's coming to you with their hand out. So the last thing you do is tell anybody that you won the blooming thing. And the next thing you don't do is you don't really alter your lifestyle that much, that dramatically. In other words, if you're driving a Chevy pickup truck one day, if the next day somebody sees you with his and her Ferraris in your garage, that's kind of going to be a tip-off. So you really shouldn't change your lifestyle in such a flagrant manner, because you're just asking for trouble. People are going to ask questions and all that kind of jazz. You don't need it. So the first thing I would do is keep my mouth shut. Then I'd go see an attorney, a tax attorney, and get some expert advice. Of course, the thing you never do with a lottery win is spend the money, right? I'm assuming all my subscribers are smart people, so I'm thinking they all know that. What you do with lottery money is you live off the principal. I mean, not the principal. You live off the interest. You never touch the principal. The principal stays invested, and you can live well off the interest, I'm thinking, depending on how much you win. So that's Cousin Tim's or Trailer Trash Tim's advice for winning the lottery. What would I do? I'll tell you what I would do. The first thing I would do is I would tithe. I would take 10% of that money, I tithe, and give it to my church, and that's just what I would do. You ought to give. Be a giver. It makes you feel good inside. Makes you feel good to give back that tithe or those offerings. Just to be charitable and give to other people. That's really important that we do that, because you can't take it with you. And one day, if you've laid up those treasures up above in heaven, maybe you'll get a reward for that one day. I really believe that. Now, the second thing I'd do is I'd go see an attorney. But ultimately, I don't really see me altering my life all that much with a lottery win. I would probably buy some property, maybe back in Georgia where I'm from. Incidentally, let me say real quick, somebody asked me in the comments yesterday, I can't remember your name, I apologize. They said, could you tell us the difference between Alabama, where you live now, and Georgia, where you're from? I can do that. Not in this video, but it's coming up, because I want to stay focused on this. But I heard you, and I will address that, because there are differences. But, I would probably buy a piece of property maybe back in Georgia, and maybe build me a nice cabin, something like that, little cabin back in Georgia. Other than that, I really can't. I'm scratching, I'm getting eat up out here. Other than that, I really can't see me altering my life all that much. I'd help my loved ones, my relatives. How much money would I need? It's not for me to determine how much you need, but for me, I just don't think I need all that much to live a great life. You know what I mean? And that really brings me to what I want to talk about today, which is minimalism. I have noticed some of my subscribers commenting to me, and some of them have let me know that they are minimalist and off-gridders. And I think that's pretty cool. I think it's a pretty good way to live, actually. Have you ever known a hoarder? Have you had a relative that was a hoarder? Are you a hoarder? I can tell you I am not a hoarder. I am the opposite of a hoarder. I have thrown away photographs, and I mean of loved ones. I ain't gonna tell you who. Certainly myself. I don't hoard. I just don't hoard. If you looked in my house, you'd say, man, you don't have a lot of stuff hoarded here. And I don't. I just don't keep a lot of stuff. I routinely look at articles of clothing and things of that nature. If I'm not using it, to Goodwill it goes, or to a friend, or whatever it goes. I just don't hoard things. I believe that the happy life is a minimalistic life. I really do. And I think that if you can start addressing this in your life, especially if you are a hoarder, I think it's really good to take a personal inventory. Go through the things in your house that you own. Take inventory of it and ask yourself, pick it up, hold it in your hand. Do I own this, or does this own me? Do I need this? Again, I'm not trying to be preachy or judgmental. I don't know what you need. I have no idea what you need. But you know what you need. And if you have things that you don't need, you might want to ask yourself, could somebody else use this? Or is this cluttering up my life? Or have I made an idol out of this thing, whatever it is? I've got one television set. I hardly ever turn the thing on. I know people who have multiple television sets, and I'm wondering why. I mean, I just don't get that. If you have, how many pairs of shoes do you have? How many pairs of shirts? How many shirts do you have, or pants? How many appliances do you have? Do you have duplicate appliances? Do you have too much furniture? Again, please understand, I'm not trying to be preachy, and I'm not meddling. I'm just asking questions. That's for you to determine. But I think the less things that you have, then the less things are there to have you, if you know what I mean. People can become a slave to things. I don't want to be a slave to things. Minimalism is where it's at, man. And people who have, I really admire people who have bought a little bit of property and gone off grid, and they power their home with generators or solar generators or something of that nature, and they buy survival food and rain barrels and things of that nature. And they're not as dependent on the grid as most people are. I think that's fantastic. I think it's a great idea. I think a minimalistic life is a simpler life, and ultimately I believe it is a happier life. I really do. And you know, I'm kind of make light of this. Trailer Trash Tim, I own 3 trailers. I live in one, I camp in one, and I work out of one. I got 3 trailers. My trailer is around a little bit over 1,200 square feet. And you know, the funny thing about it is I may live in half of it. When I think about it now, I should have bought something smaller. I know people who have bought these storage sheds, and I think I probably could have done that and converted them into a dwelling, you know. I mean, I just don't need that much. None of us need that much, in my opinion. And I would challenge you today. Maybe, you know, your stuff can make you miserable. Now, I'm not saying go out and give away or sell like an heirloom, something your grandmother gave you or your mother passed down to you or anything like that. I understand that. Some things have sentimental value that you never want to get rid of. That makes a lot of sense. I understand. There's something maybe you'd give to your kids or grandkids one day. But I think it's a good idea to go through your house and pick up things and ask yourselves, do I need this? I think everybody this day and age, especially in America, we need to get out of debt and declutter, especially get out of debt, folks. I'm telling you, we don't know what's coming down the pike. Get out of debt, declutter, simplify your life. And I think when you do that, you're going to have a much happier life. I really do, because you don't have to worry about all the stuff that you've got. I think there's a story in the Bible. You remember about the guy who had all the barns and they were stuffed full of supplies. And he said one day, yeah, I think I'm going to tear my barns down and build bigger barns. And the Lord said to him, thou fool, thou fool. That's what the Lord said. I didn't say it. It's right there in the Bible. I don't want the Lord to have to say that to me. I want to declutter. I want to get out of debt. I want to have just a minimal lifestyle because I think it's a simpler lifestyle and a happy lifestyle. I'd love to know how you feel about this. How about give me your comments down below? You think I'm onto something here? Do you disagree with me? Do you think, yeah, man, I've been saying that myself for a long, long time. That's how I'm living. Anyway, I'd like to hear what you have to say about it. Thanks so much, everybody, for joining me on a hot Thursday, what is it, morning or afternoon? I think it's right before noon. Thanks so much for joining me, everybody. Have a great day. I will talk to you tomorrow. Trailer Trash Tim, over and out.